Welcome home and welcome back to another edition of the book review. I'm Dominic Raphael. This is the book review that I have been doing for the last few days, and it's to do with the 9 personality types of the Enneagram. Those 9 personality types is what makes us humans who we are. We have dominant types of personalities, and then we have subtypes. So this section is called the real purpose of the Enneagram, and this is up in Canada. While it is extremely valuable to discover our dominant type, it is best to not get distracted by typing and to keep in mind the real purpose of the Enneagrams. First, remember that we have the whole Enneagrams within us. So that's all 9 personality types. When we speak of our type, it is useful to think of it as our dominant type, our default setting and motivational core. This is an extremely valuable thing to know, and it can greatly facilitate our growth by being aware of what is most centrally driving our ego agendas. I love the descriptions in these words. This is a very good writer. That being said, we will manifest characteristics from all of the 9 types from time to time. In short, we are all 9 types. Second, remember that the reason we learn our Enneagram type is to remind us to come back to the present moment when we see our personalities drawing our attention into its particular preoccupation and reactions. When we use our knowledge of the types, this way they become liberating rather than constricting us in old identities. As important as discovering our type is, a much more significant achievement is to be willing to observe it in action. Indeed, discovering our personality type only presents us with this greater challenge of courageously observing ourselves as we really are. Lost my place. Where am I? As we really are. As we really are. Okay. Oh, here we go. Observing ourselves as we really are, no matter what we find. Without the willingness to see the maneuvers of our personality from moment to moment, transformations cannot take place. Unless we learn to observe ourselves, finding our type with the Enneagram or any other system will give us little more than another label with which we can hide from ourselves. If we only find our type but go no further, the Enneagram itself can become an obstacle to our growth. Third, it is in the act of seeing ourselves objectively that some things to let go in us. A new possibility is created when we allow the grace available in the moment to touch us. We discover that at our deepest, we are not our personality. When we experience this truth, transformation becomes possible. Without our trying to do anything to fix ourselves, the act of bringing awareness to the moment causes our higher essential qualities to become more available and our personality to lose its grip over us. As we have more moments of freedom from our personality, our essence reveals its many facets: acceptance, love, authenticity, forgiveness, compassion, courage, joy, strength, and presence, as well as gratitude, vitality, and the boundlessness, and all of the other manifestations of the human spirit. By moving beyond merely knowing our type to the ability to see ourselves as we are, the shift from personality to essence takes place, and we discover that we can live differently. We discover that we can be free. In the end, the Enneagram can be thought of as a treasure map that indicates where the secret riches of the innermost self can be discovered, pointing out each type's path to self-realizations is thus one of the Enneagram's most profound gifts. But the Enneagram is only a map, and it is up to us to make the journey. Only we can accept the daily challenges and adventure that is in our life. The Enneagram takes us to the threshold of spirit and freedom, love, liberation, self-surrender, and self-actualization. Once we have arrived at that uncharted land, we will begin to recognize our truest self, and self beyond personality, the self of essence. That self, of course, cannot be tested by the questionnaire, but only by life itself. I have to say that up in Manitoba, we have a film production crew that I used to work with, and what we used to get from these films, like the crew in that, would be what they call gack. So I have a lot of gack from my days in film, and the gack is usually t-shirts, baseball caps, paraphernalia and what have you, that basically has the label of either the film that you were working on or one of the series, because we ended up doing more series in the before the pandemic. We did a lot of series, and so often what I will do is I will wear this gack, as it's called in the film industry language. So the gack is this shirt. This is Dark Soul. That was a music video we did a long time ago. So it's no reflection of who I am, but a reflection of what I worked on back in the day. So with that in mind, keep this in mind. The Enneagram, we'll be getting back to it, and we're going to start looking at the identifying the personality type, the dominant type, and the Reti. Actually, I'll read that part once more. It's kind of like an intro to what's up next. So it was developed by the Riso-Hudson Enneagram Type Indicator. Riso-Hudson is a professor, a PhD. If we are going to use the Enneagram for self-understanding, for relationships, or for practical applications, we must be able to accurately assess our dominant personality type, as well as those of others. The questionnaire in this book, the Riso-Hudson Enneagram Type Indicator, or what they're calling the Reti, version 2.5, is a reliable tool for that purpose. Those who are already acquainted with the Enneagram have intuitively sensed that this system works. The Reti attempts to complement intuition by verifying the personality types empirically. Empirically. Well, that's an interesting word. What does it interpret to you when you hear that empirically or empirically? If the Enneagram is to become more widely known, its intuitive validity will have to be corroborated by hard evidence. The questionnaire is offered as a step towards the scientific validation of the Enneagram as a whole. So we'll look into the scientific validation and limitations with the psychological tests in the coming days. So for now, this is Up in Canada. I'm Dominic Raphael, and we're doing a book review on the 9 personality types of the human species. So until then, cheers.